Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, the content that we've got to talk about tonight is a new bill that was put forward by 3 sitting senators. This is gun control extraordinaire. They actually want it to be a part of our legislative process that in order to buy a gun, which is a Second Amendment right, they want you to appeal to the DOJ. They want you to do a written test. They want you to do an accuracy test and proof of ID. Irony on that one, we'll get to it, don't you worry. But before I dive too deeply into it, I want to say something really important about this type of content. One of the mainstays on this channel is I'm always trying to give you guys the best information as I understand it because I don't believe in the fear-mongering model. I personally believe that we can have the information, we can deal with it, we can process it, we can position ourselves better to win for our rights in the end. And that's kind of one of the mainstays. The reason I'm bringing this to you today is not to fear-monger, but the reason is because there's so much insanity. This is the breadth and the length that they will actually go to do what we're talking about here. This is insane, and your Second Amendment rights mean nothing to them, including the historical references to civil rights, which they seem to blow right past. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below. Send this one out so you can share the hypocrisy on this one. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, LAS Concealment, and then we're going to get into it and hit it hard because this is rife. Now, in today's increasingly dangerous environment, arming yourself responsibly and effectively is paramount in defending yourself and those that you love. Selecting a holster is an important piece of embracing your Second Amendment rights, and LAS Concealment is here to help you in that mission. With leading designs, inside and outside the waistband options, combat tested by special forces and overseas operations, hundreds of designs, hundreds of prints and patterns, LAS Concealment has something that you need. There's a link in the description box below. Let me know what you guys think, and thank you so much to LAS for sponsoring this week's videos. And now, let's get into this because we have got to talk about this. This is really important because, again, these are sitting Democrats in the Senate who, in my opinion, just broke their oath again. But there's always a why. Check this out. Senate Democrats propose DOJ license requirement for gun purchases. What could go wrong here? Okay, let's bypass the obvious title. Let me show you what the bill actually says. Then we'll really rip it apart. According to the bill text, the Federal Firearm Licensing Act will require residents to complete a written firearm safety test and hands-on testing. Where has that occurred in our past in the South where people were denied their rights around, voting in civil rights? This coming from the same party where the president spent the first 3 months of his term saying something about Jim Eagle or Jim Crow or Jim Crow 2.0 or whatever the stupid tagline was they came up with. This is totally fine though. Nothing? Anybody? Okay. Which includes firing testing to get a license to acquire a firearm. So now you have a license to even have a Second Amendment right, which is in the Bill of Rights. This has no chance of passing. It's really important to understand here. Now let's keep going. See something else that they want to do. The bill would also raise the legal age for obtaining a firearm to 21 years old. Okay, well that's interesting because in California right now, it was just ruled unconstitutional to deny 18, 19, and 20-year-olds their constitutional rights. You also have something pending in the Third Circuit, I believe, around Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland area, that also says this is unconstitutional. So interesting that you want to go that route. It's almost like you just want to do this for voting. Anyway, the bill was introduced by Senators Cory Booker, Democrat, New Jersey, Bob Menendez, Democrat, New Jersey, and Richard Blumenthal. Richard Blumenthal, Mr. Gun Control, who earlier this year complained that they didn't have anything to get reelected on because the Democrats are sucking so hard across the board. I wonder if this has anything to do with constituency concerns. Anyway, Bob Menendez and Cory Booker. Cory Booker wants to be a president someday. Remember the whole I'm Spartacus Cory Booker? Yeah, what's that about? This has zero chance of passing. In fact, even the Hill, where this is coming from, says it has 0% chance of passing. Oh, but the license will also require those wanting to buy a gun to submit a criminal background check, fingerprints, and proof of identity. I thought it was unconstitutional and terrible on every regard to ask someone for an ID to do any kind of constitutional right. Again, it doesn't matter. All it changes is the constitutional rights. If they like them, it's okay. And if they don't like them, well, yeah, it's not really a right. We can infringe all you want. Do you see the juxtaposition here? God, it's like they have the memory of a squirrel. Anyway, here's where the Hill actually comes out and says the honest truth. It has virtually no chance of becoming law given GOP opposition, but gives a sense of the breadth of restrictions on gun access that some lawmakers would favor imposing in the wake of years of situations in the nation. So that's the other part that I really wanted to bring out there. You're willing to infringe so hard on a constitutional right and impose a written test, an accuracy test, make sure you have proof of ID. All three things which have been, I can't even say that, have been instrumental in denying people rights throughout the history of this nation. But it's perfectly fine for Second Amendment. I don't even, sometimes I run out of words because the hypocrisy is so blatant. Now, they're right on the Hill. This has 0% chance of passing. This has to go through a 60-vote filibuster. You're not even going to get 50 Democrats on this because it's so far beyond the pale. It's so unconstitutional. This is only to garner votes, which makes it even more gross because the only way they're bringing this bill forward is based off of tragedy. They are literally trying to garner votes for themselves and their own power off of tragedy on a bill that will never pass and is unconstitutional. Gross. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you tomorrow morning on the bullet points. I'm Braden. See you later.